Disclaimer. This podcast is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. Always consult your licensed medical provider before starting any peptide, supplement, medication, or therapy. Today I want to take you through my personal peptide stack, the one I use every single day as a 49-year-old woman living with multiple sclerosis. Peptides have become one of the most powerful tools I have for managing symptoms, supporting healing, calming inflammation, and helping me function in a body that doesn't always want to cooperate. My stack is big because multiple sclerosis is complex. It affects my nerves, my energy, my mood, my immune system, and my ability to move. So, I take a broad approach. Today I'm going to walk you through each peptide I use, why I use it, and how it helps me feel more like myself. I want to start with the peptide I use every single morning, Semax. Semax is one of my absolute essentials. I take it for focus, mood, motivation, and mental clarity. Living with multiple sclerosis means my brain doesn't always fire as clean or as fast as I want it to. Some days I wake up and feel foggy. Some days I can't find words. Some days my energy feels low before the day even starts. Semax helps bring everything online. It boosts attention, supports memory, helps me feel emotionally steady, and gives my nervous system the gentle push it needs to start the day. For me, Semax is like flipping a switch that wakes up my brain and brings my thoughts into alignment. Now I want to talk about my favorite peptide of all time, ARA-290. If you've ever lived with nerve pain, you understand why this one matters so much. Multiple sclerosis causes nerve damage, and for some people like me, that means burning pain, numbness, tingling, or discomfort that feels unpredictable. Traditional medications rarely help my nerve pain the way I need them to, but ARA-290 does. It helps calm neuroinflammation. It helps soothe irritated nerves. It helps quiet that buzzing, burning feeling that can wear me down physically and mentally. I don't take many things that feel like miracles, but ARA-290 is as close as I've ever found. It doesn't cure my multiple sclerosis, but it gives me my quality of life back. It gives me days with less pain and more control. And that matters more than I can even explain. Another peptide I rely on is MOTS-C. This peptide supports mitochondrial function, which is a fancy way of saying it helps my cells produce energy more efficiently. Multiple sclerosis fatigue is not normal tiredness. It can be crushing. It can hit out of nowhere. It can make simple tasks feel like mountains. MOTS-C helps stabilize that. It gives me steady energy. It helps my muscles work more efficiently. It improves endurance and helps me feel physically capable even on harder days. It's a small peptide with a big impact, especially when my body is fighting inflammation and fatigue at the same time. Next, I use Retatrutide, which is one of the strongest metabolic and weight management peptides available right now. For me, weight management is not about appearance. It's about reducing inflammation, protecting mobility, and keeping pressure off my joints and nerves. Retatrutide helps control appetite, regulate blood sugar, and support healthy weight loss. When inflammation levels are lower, my multiple sclerosis symptoms are easier to manage. Retatrutide plays a major role in keeping my system stable. Another essential peptide in my stack is Thymosin Alpha 1. This is one of my immune support staples. Multiple sclerosis is an autoimmune condition, which means my immune system doesn't always behave the way it should. Thymosin Alpha 1 helps regulate immune activity, not suppress it. It helps balance immune responses, reduce overactivity, and support long-term stability. It also helps me get sick less often, which is important because every illness can trigger symptom flares. Thymosin Alpha 1 is gentle, reliable, and incredibly supportive for people like me who need immune balance, not immune chaos. Sermorelin is another foundational peptide in my routine. At 49, natural growth hormone output is much lower than it used to be. Sermorelin encourages my body to release its own growth hormone in a natural way. I notice better sleep, better recovery, healthier skin, and smoother overall healing when I use it consistently. Growth hormone is not just about aging. It's about repairing tissue, supporting muscles, and maintaining strength. With multiple sclerosis constantly putting pressure on my body, supporting recovery is essential. I also use Cagrilintide, which pairs beautifully with my metabolic peptides. Cagrilintide helps control appetite, reduce cravings, and improve feelings of satiety. It helps me maintain weight stability in a way that feels natural instead of forced. Metabolic health is an important part of managing multiple sclerosis because inflammation, fatigue, hormones, and mobility all connect. Cagrilintide helps me stay balanced. Next is AOD9604. This one helps with fat metabolism and energy regulation. I use it to support body composition and keep inflammation lower. Even small reductions in inflammation can make a big difference with multiple sclerosis. AOD9604 is a supportive metabolic tool rather than a stimulant, and that makes it easy to use long-term. LL-37 is another peptide I incorporate for immune and antimicrobial support. It helps protect my system from infections, which is incredibly important because infections are one of the biggest triggers for multiple sclerosis flares. LL-37 also supports wound healing and tissue repair. It's a strong peptide, and I use it strategically to keep my immune system in a safer, more balanced place. Next are some of my most well-known repair peptides, BPC-157 and TB-500. These two are partners. BPC-157 helps with gut healing, soft tissue repair, and overall inflammation reduction. TB-500 helps promote cellular migration, healing, flexibility, and recovery. Together, they help my body handle stress, movement, inflammation, and general wear and tear. They support joints, ligaments, muscles, and connective tissue. With multiple sclerosis, pain doesn't just come from nerves. It comes from the body working harder to compensate. These two peptides help soften that burden. KPV is one of my favorite anti-inflammatory peptides because it works fast and gently. I use it when inflammation feels high or when my body feels tense, irritated, or out of balance. KPV helps soothe the immune system, calm the gut, and reduce internal stress. It's extremely useful on days where my multiple sclerosis symptoms feel like they're building. KPV helps stop that process before it gets worse. GHK-Cu is another peptide I use regularly. I use it for skin health, tissue repair, collagen production, and overall regeneration. It helps my skin stay healthy and supports healing from physical stress. Even though it's known for cosmetic benefits, it helps far deeper than that. It supports wound healing, inflammation reduction, and cellular repair, all of which matter a lot for someone dealing with an inflammatory condition like multiple sclerosis. PT-141 is a peptide I use as needed. It helps with libido and sexual function, which are areas that can be affected by age, hormones, stress, and chronic illness. I don't use it daily, but when I do need it, it works beautifully and gives me confidence and comfort in that part of my life. SNAP-8 is something I use topically as part of my skin routine. It helps reduce fine lines, soften expression wrinkles, and smooth overall skin texture. Using peptides internally is important, but having a topical option like SNAP-8 helps me feel good in my skin in a different way. It's simple, gentle, and effective. Every 6 months, I rotate a cycle of Epithalon. Epithalon supports telomere health, longevity, and sleep regulation. I take it in short bursts a couple of times a year. I always notice better sleep quality, better recovery, and a calmer, more regulated system afterward. Sleep is one of the most important parts of managing multiple sclerosis, and Epithalon supports that in a meaningful way. Together, all of these peptides form my personal stack. Some people ask why I use so many. The answer is simple. Multiple sclerosis affects almost every part of my body. So my approach has to support every part of my body. Energy, nerves, metabolism, immune system, tissue repair, inflammation, mood, sleep, and healing all work together. Peptides give me tools to help manage each of those areas. Being a 49-year-old woman with multiple sclerosis means I have to take an active role in taking care of myself. I don't have the luxury of ignoring symptoms or waiting for things to get worse. Peptides give me a sense of control. They give me relief. They give me hope. They help me feel stronger, clearer, more stable, and more capable. They don't cure multiple sclerosis, but they improve the quality of my life in a way nothing else has. This stack helps me live fully. It helps me function. It helps me stay present in my life instead of being overwhelmed by pain, fatigue, inflammation, or brain fog. If you're listening to this and wondering whether peptides are right for you, the most important thing to know is that there is no one-size-fits-all. What works for me works because I learned my body, studied the science, and paid attention to how each peptide made me feel. Peptides are not shortcuts. They are support systems. They help your body heal, repair, and restore what life and illness try to take away. They help you show up better in your own life. They help you feel more like yourself. And they help you keep going even on the days where your body feels unpredictable. Disclaimer: this podcast is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. Always consult your licensed medical provider before starting any peptide, supplement, medication, or therapy. Thanks for listening, keep learning, and stay curious.